We're Steve and Audra, a couple living and working full-time on the road in 60 square feet of space in our self-converted Ford Transit camper van with our cat, Lady Gray. We're trying to live simply on a low budget while enjoying the incredible beauty all around us. Thanks for joining us as our adventure continues.
Breakfast is served.
So we don't have any cell service here at this overnight spot, and sometimes that's kind of frustrating, but also sometimes it feels like a little bit of a gift because it's an excuse to just lounge around and not do much. So Katie and I came up here on the bed in the sunshine. I've just been reading, kind of having a little bit of a lazy morning. But now we need to get moving. So last night's spot ended up being pretty good. It was nice and quiet because it was a little bit back from the main road, and we were joined by a few other people, so it's kind of nice when there's others around. And woke up to a nice view, and now we are back on the road. You just couldn't, so you had to pay to get in here? I wonder. So we have driven out to Point Arena Lighthouse, which as the name infers, it's on a point. And I knew the lighthouse itself didn't open until 10 o'clock, but I didn't realize that there was a gate here that we can't even get near the lighthouse. But we can at least get some nice pictures and views. And there's some nice scenery along the way here, so we'll just enjoy it a little bit and then keep moving on. Point Arena Lighthouse stands dramatically on the Mendocino Coast, marking the westernmost point in the state and guiding ships past this rugged shoreline since the early 20th century. The current tower was completed in 1908 after an earthquake damaged the original structure. Its striking height and location make it one of the most prominent lighthouses on the Pacific Coast. Today, visitors can tour the grounds, climb the tower for sweeping ocean views, and watch waves crash against the cliffs below in this breathtaking setting. We drove back up the road a little bit. Check out this view. Alright, so we just drove a little bit further back up the road, south of the lighthouse, and we are at Sea Lion Rocks. I don't know if that means there'll be sea lions, but let's go find out. Point Arena Stornetta Public Lands is a vast area that showcases some of the most dramatic coastal scenery in this section of the coast. Sweeping bluffs, wildflower-dotted headlands, offshore sea stacks, and crashing surf define this protected stretch of shoreline, where coastal trails wind along the cliff edges with non-stop ocean views. Just offshore, the rugged formations, Sea Lion Rocks, are often home to noisy gatherings of sea lions and seabirds resting between waves. This windswept area offers a striking mix of wildlife watching, geology, and wide-open coastal vistas that feel both remote and wonderfully untamed. There were no sea lions during our visit, but we did get to see some adorable seals. right, well, this is another great spot. I absolutely loved it out here and got to see seals. They just floated in the water and I felt like they were just looking right at me. Well, I think they were. It's like they see humans and we're their entertainment, so that was kind of fun.
Take the next right onto Main Street, then your destination will be on the left.
And with that, it was time to get some work done. We headed to the library in the adorable town of Point Arena. This library, previously a mercantile, had so much character and interesting pieces on display from its previous life. That's one thing we love about working at libraries. Some of them are very unique, with interesting history and exhibits.
So we wrapped up our time at the library, got a little bit of work done. Now we're back, heading south on the mighty Route 1.
We are driving by so many beautiful spots. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating because we want to stop and see everything, but it's just not possible. We have a certain spot we want to check out, and that's an hour and a half south of here. And then after that, we still need to get to our overnight spot for the night. And that's, I think, another hour and a half maybe. So we just have to be content with driving by and admiring the view as much as we can as we go. Was this a crazy road to drive, especially in a van? Kudos to Steve for keeping it cool and all these hairpin crazy turns. Goat Rock Beach is a striking stretch of coastline near Jenner in Sonoma County, California, where the Russian River meets the Pacific Ocean amid dramatic rock formations and broad sandy shores. Named for a prominent offshore sea stack, the beach is known for its sweeping views, rolling surf, and frequent wildlife sightings, including harbor seals resting on nearby sandbars. Goat Rock offers a scenic and peaceful spot to explore or simply take in the raw beauty of Northern California's coast.
All right, we've made it to Goat Rock Beach. If you remember our time in Astoria, we checked out a bunch of filming locations for the movie The Goonies. This just happens to be where they filmed the last scene of the movie.
Goat Rock Beach has been used as a film location, most notably in the 1985 cult classic The Goonies. The dramatic coastline and iconic rock formations at Goat Rock Beach and nearby Blind Beach were used for the movie's final scene. It was fun to walk along the water's edge and bring up that final scene on our phone as we were in the same spot where the Goonies reunited with their families and watched the pirate ship sail off into the distance. The connection of this scenic area to one of our favorite films made our visit here that much more memorable and special, and well worth a bit of a detour.
Well, that was fun. Checking out another film location for one of my favorite movies. Now we are continuing south and we are on a quest to find an overnight spot.
Just amazing.
Your destination is on the left.
Well, we have chosen our overnight spot. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge to figure out what spot makes the most sense. First, we thought about a spot that was just 10 minutes south of where we started at Goat Rock Beach. And it was really nice on the water, but I was hoping to come a little bit further south because of our plans in the morning. We got to a spot on Route 1 and we didn't think it was very good. It was right on Route 1, not very level. So we backtracked a little bit, about 8 minutes, and we found this spot. It's actually an equestrian trailhead, I think, right on Bodega Bay. And I think we're calling this home for tonight. So this wasn't in our original plans. Originally I was hoping to drive about 50 minutes south of here, but sometimes that just doesn't make sense. It's getting later at night. We don't want to be driving on Route 1 in the dark because of how windy it is. So Steve is outside now just scoping things out, making sure everything looks okay. We're going to make dinner now. I'll probably grab a couple pictures because the sun just set and looks kind of pretty. Yep. And hopefully everything will be fine here tonight. Good morning, you guys. We had a nice, peaceful, quiet night last night. When we went to sleep, it had been pretty clear. This morning, we woke up to fog. It's always kind of crazy on the coast, the weather and how things change from day to day. It has a very mysterious feel this morning. And we are making our way south, about an hour. We are heading to Point Reyes. And just like that, as I was talking to you guys, we drove out of the fog. Now there's some blue skies around, some sunlight filtering. We do see some clouds or fog over part of the hills, but it's totally different all of a sudden. Oh my goodness, look at that. Gorgeous. Point Reyes is a wild and windswept peninsula known for its dramatic coastal cliffs, open grasslands, dense forest, and abundant wildlife. Shaped by powerful ocean forces in the nearby San Andreas Fault, Point Reyes offers a striking blend of natural beauty and geologic intrigue that makes it one of the most distinctive coastal landscapes in the state. All right, well, we've come to Point Reyes, and our first stop is the Cypress Tree Tunnel. The Cypress Tree Tunnel is a picturesque drive, now only open to foot traffic, lined with towering Monterey cypress trees that arch over the road leading toward a historic radio receiving station. Planted in the early 20th century as windbreaks, the trees have grown into a dramatic green corridor whose twisting branches form a natural canopy overhead. Today the tunnel is a favorite photo spot, offering a striking contrast between cultivated landscape and the wild coastal scenery found throughout Point Reyes National Seashore. At the end of the Cypress Tree Tunnel sits the historic RCA Marconi wireless receiving station, built in the early 1930s to support maritime communication along the Pacific coast. The Art Deco-style building once played a key role in relaying wireless messages between ships and shore, improving navigation and safety long before modern technology took over. a bit of a comedy of errors this morning. This is kind of a significant detour to come out here to Point Reyes. And part of the reason why I had chosen to come here was I thought that Steve would have a signal from San Francisco to be able to watch his Eagles. We got out here and there's no signal, and we mean TV signal station. And there's also a lighthouse out here, but when we put it in Google Maps, it says there are 2 road closures and no way to get there, which when I put it in yesterday, that hadn't shown up. So we're not actually sure if we can get to the lighthouse. It's actually another 22 minutes from here. So, I don't know, we're gonna figure it out. It's kind of a bummer though this morning. So Steve had the idea to just go to the closest beach and see if we could see the lighthouse from here, or at least check things out, and then figure out what we're doing. Alright, well that worked out that we stopped there. First of all, there was a regular bathroom, so we took care of some business. We filled up on some water, dumped our lemonade, and there was an employee there, so I was able to ask him if the lighthouse was accessible or not, if there was any road closures, and he said everything is open. So I don't know why Google Maps says that there are 2 closures on the way and not accessible to get to the lighthouse, but now we are heading to the lighthouse. Crazy morning. We are here, I guess the closest point we can get to the lighthouse, and maybe that's why GPS was telling us it's closed. There's a road that you have to hike on to get to the lighthouse. Typically that is a normal road, I guess, but it's closed. So also the clouds are just rolling through here, so it's pretty wild how we started in kind of cloudy weather, it cleared out, and now we're in the clouds again. So I'm not even sure what kind of view we'll get at the lighthouse. This is pretty wild to see the mist just coming across the road as we walk up this way. The area surrounding the Point Reyes Lighthouse showcases some of the most fascinating geology on California's coast. Point Reyes conglomerate is a distinctive rock formation made up of rounded pebbles and cobbles cemented together, visible in cliffs and outcrops near the lighthouse and along nearby coastal trails. These stones were originally carried by rivers and deposited in coastal environments before being buried, hardened into rock, and later uplifted by tectonic forces associated with the San Andreas fault system. That's funny. Point Reyes Lighthouse stands dramatically on a rocky headland at the western edge of the Point Reyes National Seashore, where powerful winds and crashing surf have challenged mariners for generations. First lit in 1870, the lighthouse was built low on the cliffs to stay beneath the area's frequent fog, and visitors today can usually descend a long staircase to reach the historic tower and its original Fresnel lens. Surrounded by sweeping ocean views and rugged coastal scenery, the site offers a striking glimpse into maritime history, while showcasing the raw, untamed beauty of Northern California's shoreline. We weren't so lucky to get a look at the lighthouse, though. We were there during the government shutdown, and unlucky for us and other visitors during that time, the stairs down to the lighthouse were closed.
Well, we have spectacular views here this morning. Over here to my right, there are clouds. And then if you look over here to my left, more clouds.
So what you're saying is there are clouds?
There are clouds.
After waiting around for a while, hoping that the fog would clear long enough to give us a glimpse of the lighthouse, we gave up hope and headed back toward our van. Despite not being able to see much, it was still a nice walk with some pretty, though limited, views. Everything was very green and vibrant from the moisture that seems to be a regular presence here. Nice pooping.
All right, so unfortunately I'm not able to find the game on a broadcast with my little TV antenna for my phone, but thankfully it's on the radio, so I'm able to at least listen to it.
And the game the Broncos felt as if they were getting blown out of, Denver is right there within striking range. Better was Hurts held it forever. I mean, that was 6 seconds.
It is so wild. We just drove maybe just a couple minutes from where the lighthouse parking area is, and we're back in sunny blue skies. It's so crazy here. I think is it a coyote? So we were driving by this area where there were a lot of birds, and I think people were out birding and taking pictures. But then we realized there was an animal down there. First I wasn't sure if it was a wolf. I think it's a coyote.
Well, we were cutting it close, a little too close for comfort, but we made it.
As you might imagine, we are finding that gas prices are higher here in California, and we expect them to get even higher as we go further south. One of the ways that we save on gas is with the Upside app. We can search on the map to find prices that are a little bit cheaper than others, and there are also discounts available with the app. So if you want to save on gas, use our code that's in the video description, and you can save a few pennies, and every time you save a few pennies, we also save a few pennies. And now it feels a little bit like culture shock. We have gone from twisty roads with no one on them, pretty much, other than us, to busy highway. It's kind of crazy to be back in an area like this after the whole time coming down Route 1.
All right, now that we're back into civilization, we're going to tackle a problem that has been going on for quite some time now. Our refrigerator, specifically our freezer, has probably an inch thick of ice in it. So I'm going to tackle that now. Picked up a bag of ice at the grocery store, so the plan is just to throw everything into the sink here. Thankfully, we don't have a lot in the refrigerator at the moment, so this should work out. First things first, I got to power down the battery. It's close to 78 degrees here in the van, so hopefully that will help aid the defrost process. So it's about 5 o'clock, and this is the progress we've made so far. We're getting there. At some point, it will melt enough where I can kind of chip away at it with a little plastic knife here, but not quite there yet. Alright, it is about 5:30 and that puts us just about at the 3-hour mark, and I think we are close to being done. There's a little bit of ice in the very back yet. As soon as I get that out, we'll be good to go. Alright, last bit. We are done.
I think we're really good at buying too many groceries when we live in a van. But we've got some good deals. After weeks of being in remote areas and small towns, we arrived at the busier town of Sausalito, just across the bay from San Francisco, and used our trusty iOverlander app to help us find a spot for the night. Alright, well, we have found an overnight spot in Sausalito. It's right on the street in a little downtown area. I have to say, the last couple days have felt a little bit, I think, overwhelming. We have been through some beautiful areas, but I think what makes it overwhelming is that we've covered a lot of distance, and I have found myself second-guessing all of our decisions about our plans. California is a huge state, so we have tried to look ahead and figure out like how many miles we had to put in, or how much time driving we need to put in every day on average to get through the whole state with the time that we have along the coast. I think we did a lot of driving the last couple of days, and maybe that's why it's felt so overwhelming and quite curvy roads. I think it was a little stressful for Steve, which made it a little more stressful feeling for me, I think. And then also I'm the one that does all the planning, so I felt a little bit of stress from that, trying to get down here, hoping that Steve could watch his game, because there's not a lot of things he asks for, and he didn't even really ask for getting down here to watch the game, but I really wanted him to be able to watch his game. It was really frustrating to get out to the point today and find out the signal didn't reach out there. I think also I'm feeling a little travel fatigue. We just see so much, and then driving down the coast, there were so many things we could have seen, or so many places we could have stopped, so we just had to pick a couple. I think today it was easy to second guess that we drove all the way out to the lighthouse, which was quite a ways, kind of a detour of our travels. And then I thought, coming out here, we probably should have stayed the whole day, but we didn't. We came to the library and did some other things here, and I think those things were important. But it's kind of just hard juggling and figuring things out as we go sometimes. So I think it was good that we came back to town. We took care of some things, had a little bit of downtime. Hopefully we can slow our pace down a little bit. Again, I think it was maybe just overwhelming because we were doing so much driving and just a short amount of time. So anyway, here we are tonight. It's nice to be settled in, and again, maybe have a little bit of downtime, maybe kind of take it easy tomorrow. and then we'll see how things go after that. If you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron by using the link on the screen that we've also included in the video description, along with information about today's adventure and our channel. A special thank you to all our patrons. We appreciate your ongoing support. Thanks for coming along with us on this van life adventure. Please take a second to hit the like button below, leave a comment to let us know you're watching, and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget, you can also connect with us and see my photos of the places we visit on our Facebook and Instagram.